Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all could be with us today. I want to thank you guys for being with us all this week, as we've been very busy with Prime on the Amazon side. We're about to connect with our friends over on Amazon, but I appreciate you guys being with us, and I hope you guys have been enjoying being introduced to some great products, but also some great authors as well. We hope to continue that today as we're wrapping up our Prime coverage. And we're now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the books by our next guest. So excited to welcome author Harold Phifer to our broadcast today. You'll see books by Harold there that are nonfiction. You also will see some of his fiction work under his pen name, his pseudonym. You guys see here, Dean Conan. We're going to talk to Harold not only about his journey as a writer, but also what it's been like for him to meet with readers like yourselves on Amazon all over the world, what it's been like for him to share his stories, and of course, we'll let you all know how to stay connected with him as well. Harold, welcome back to the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you, Cyrus. I'm glad to be here. Got to reach out and touch everybody, and hope you guys get a chance to check out my books. I try to connect them all, but I'll let Cyrus take over, and I come back and tell you how I try to connect them.
Yeah. So, Harold, and it's been great to being able to talk about that. And I was saying to Harold before we went live here, especially on the Amazon side this week, as we've been picking up new viewers for our Amazon show, we also been picking up individuals who are just now discovering some of the authors we've been featuring as well, Harold. So that's why we're so glad to have you on as we're closing out our Prime Days coverage. What has it been like for you, Harold, to be able to find readers around the world that are enjoying your work?
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, you start, you want to tell your story, you want to be creative, you want to and you hope people pick it up and read it, and then to hear that people actually doing it, it's a boost. It make you feel good. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been able to do this, Harold, in a way that people can enjoy. Now, your newest book is My Bully, My Aunt, and Her Final Gift. As our audience on Amazon can see, you all can get the Kindle edition right now for only 99 cents, or you can get the paperback as I have here. He also has another book here that I have, Surviving Chaos, How I Found Peace at a Beach Bar. You all can see it here. So, Harold, you've been able to share your own personal story in these books. What was that decision like for you to be able to not only to tell us about some of the things that you've gone through, but also to be able to share bits of your life with us?
Yeah, it was kind of like lifting a boulder, off you, and at the same time, therapeutic. And but since you mentioned Surviving Chaos, actually it has two different covers.
Hmm.
This cover here,
Yeah.
Surviving Chaos, uh, How I Found Peace at a Beach Bar. And in telling this story, I didn't want it to be so dramatic. I wanted to bring you along and make you feel good. So there's a lot of humor, and a lot of weird but humor in
Hmm.
there. And I I sprung in My Bully, My Aunt, and Her Final Gift. In this book, my aunt Kathy was the antagonist in the book Surviving Chaos.
Hmm.
So I brought her in. People asked me about her. Brought her in. I wanted to bring her along and tell about her zaniness. Kind of her. She was kind of mean spirited too.
Hmm.
But I wanted to build her up a lot, in the end, and which I did. So you'll get a lot of kicks out, a lot of laugh, and people tell me they laugh, they cry, and they love the book.
Yeah. Now, Surviving Chaos that I have here, Harold, is your second book. Did you know when you wrote Surviving Chaos? Did you know at that time that you were going to continue sharing your story in My Bully, My Aunt, and Her Final Gift, or what was it that kind of led you to decide to write this book?
I didn't. People kept asking me about my aunt Kathy. She's the antagonist in Surviving Chaos, and
Mhm.
people were, asking, "Hey, was she that mean?" You know, yeah, tell me about her, and then it dawned on me, I'm like, well, there's a lot more I do have about her. So, so I got to writing, and it just started to flow, and I realized, elderly lady, and she passed. I didn't want to be too dark or too mean spirited. So it was dicey, telling the story. But
Mhm.
so that why a lot of the humor is there, even though she
Mhm.
did some things that were humor or
Right.
humorous. it wasn't funny then, but it's funny now.
Mhm.
But I wanted to do it without just really just beating her up too bad. You know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Miss Queenie is joining us over on the Amazon side. She says hello to you as well. Harold, I want to stay with my bully, my aunt, and her final gift for a moment. And again, for you all who are just discovering Harold, I will let you know you don't have to read the books in order. As I mentioned, this is on for a great price right now for the Kindle edition for only 99 cents. You can get it, or you can be able to get the paperback. But I want to stay with this because one thing
Mhm.
I found, Harold, is someone who didn't know about your family dynamic. What we're able to find out is that in this book, your family, like a lot of families, had a lot of different tension. I mean, there was you and other family members, that had to kind of get over things. Is that one of the things you think people are connecting with? That family drama that can kind of pop up in any family?
Oh yeah, excuse me. A lot of us got relatives that are older relatives that are honorary, or are kind of tough to deal with. Got a sharp tongue, and that's Aunt Kathy, and it just she zeroed in on me more so than say my older brother.
Hmm.
So that was kind of the gas or the callus for me, you know, I guess exposing her,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say for our audience, Harold does not just make her the bad guy. He shows sometimes, when he didn't do the things he was supposed to do and had to suffer the consequences of of doing that. That is also where some of the humor comes in. Harold, talk to us about that. What it was like for you to reflect on those moments as you were writing the book.
Yeah, Kathy had a way of stealing attention, and sometimes if I didn't follow the path she wanted me to, follow, she gave me the business. But
Hmm.
there's one chapter or one story. I guess when the devil go marching in, and Kathy kind of stole the show and run it for all the choir members, and I was in the choir.
Hmm.
Anyway, I end up saving it, keeping us from not looking bad. We actually ended up winning that concert. It was like a tournament. But Aunt Kathy, she was ready to cut me a new one. I mean, she told me at one point, she said, after the preacher kind of saved me, she said, I was gonna really cut you a new one, but I'm gonna let you slide this time. She said, but if I catch you taking a crap out of turn, you know, um, I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna give you that beating, I promise. And it,
Hmm.
it was always something that stuck with you. You never forgot what she said.
Hmm. Yeah. Earl is joining us, Harold, over on LinkedIn. He says you have an
All right, bro.
interesting story. Earl, your ears must have been burning. We were just talking about your interview with Harold as well. You guys can also find on my page over on social as well. And that brings up a really good point, Harold, because along the way, as I mentioned, readers don't have to read your books in order.
Right.
I had a chance to read Surviving Chaos. They don't have to have read that before they read My Bully, My Aunt, and Her Final Gift. For yourself though, you've been able to also show your creative side, which leads us to Dean Conan over here as well. So I'm going to let our audience see this book again. So I have two of them here. We have Fool Me Thrice. Our audience can see here that's on Amazon. I'm going to highlight it for you guys in the carousel there on the Amazon side, and then you have A Fool Indeed. Talk to us about Dean and how you came up with Dean.
Believe it or not, it started in a dark place. I met this funeral director and at my mother's funeral. So I guess you say I got a whack sense of humor. And God, he seemed kind of suave and everything. And it hit me. I'm like, man, I bet he knew a lot of women, you know, along the way. So Dean Conan, um, not Dean Conan, but Charlie Moe, the main character,
Mhm.
his father was a funeral director, just like this guy, right? So that made me build the character Dean Conan. I mean Charlie Moe,
Mhm.
and so he was a womanizer, but he was trying to go straight. And most of the first book, "Fool Me Thrice," Money Changes Everything. He lost all his money, trying to find his way back, trying to get away from that being a womanizer, and his history keep coming up. Those situations keep popping up, no matter how hard he tried to be an honest man.
Mhm.
when you flip over to A Fool Indeed, he did get the woman, the woman he dreamed and wanted to be with, but his greed of trying to recoup his money put him back into the wrong world of the wrong side of life.
Right.
And once again, as he chasing his past losses, all the women that he used to know in his past every now and then would pop up. So
Mhm.
it's kind of a lesson of be careful what you open.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you, one of the lessons I took away from both "Fool Me Thrice" and "A Fool Indeed," Harold, is that also the company you keep. Right. I mean, I
Right.
think that's one of the things
Exactly.
that Charlie Moe had to deal with too, and
Mhm.
I think it's a great dynamic the way you've able to write this fictional story in this life, but also show the dangers of those who you surround yourself with as well. So, what has been the response from people who've gotten to know you from the nonfiction, Harold? What's it been like for them to see? Okay, wait a minute, what's going on with you and this Charlie Moe guy?
Well, people try to connect me, and it's not me. It's part of being a good writer. Part, you you can create a vision. You can make that escape, and that's me escaping to being or getting Charlie Moe to be something that I'm not, or something I knew of, heard of, and put it in a book, and having some fun with it. One of the things that I had a lot of fun with was Charlie Moe get beat up in both stories, and 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 even in A Fool Indeed, he almost get beat up in jail. So I had some fun with doing that to him.
Yeah. And I think we all kind of know a Charlie Moe, and we may even have some Charlie Moe tendencies ourselves. I mean, you talk about it's not you, but where do you see yourself the most in Charlie Moe?
um, Being determined, falling on my face and trying to find my way back.
Hmm.
Um, Not nearly as wild as Charlie Moe by any stretch. I mean, if there's a how do you put it? If there's a fetish, Charlie Moe probably crossed most of them. So
Yeah,
no, that,
yeah,
not- but I wanted to expose it as in, I guess, kind of a draw. And I thought I'd have some fun with it, and put it out things I heard, guys I knew, so I kind of put a lot of it in both books, especially the first one, Fool Me Thrice. A lot of, I tell people, I say, it's a kind of man warp idea of romance, because there's a lot of weird fetish, weird things going on in the first book.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you mentioned that. I want to. Well, let me say hello to Wendy. Wendy Arsad is joining us over there on Facebook. She says hello. There's a great conversation that Charlie Moe has with the character Gabby
Hmm.
in Fool Me Thrice. I want to talk to you about because it's interesting. It's very easy for us to look at Charlie Moe, Harold, and think, you know what, he is just this womanizer. He's this individual who it's all about himself, but when it comes to Gabby, he actually cares about Gabby, on a personal note. But there's an
Right.
interesting thing that Gabby says to him about him sounding like his dad. What was it like for you to kind of have people like Gabby who had gotten to know Charlie Moe, but also realize the good things about him too?
Yeah. He had a thing for Gabby. He wanted to marry her, but she was too controlled by her dad,
Hmm.
and it ended up running. I don't want to tell all of it, but it did run their opportunity for a relationship.
Yeah.
Um, One of the popular lines, right there at the end, I go and share it with you guys. Um, Her dad, which is Tin Can told Charlie Moe that his daughter would never have sex without being paid.
Hmm.
And it it flipped Charlie Moe. It blew him away. But that's some of the stuff in the book, and that's Gabby got punished for that, even though she may not have been that way. And I say punished as in she didn't get the guy.
Yeah.
So they kind of spoiler alert, but yeah,
Yeah.
it, you know.
Well, yeah, but we're also able to see in that, Harold, about, again, it shows that even though Charlie Moe has made some questionable decisions, right?
Mhm.
That
Right.
he really does, as you mentioned, he does care about, Gabby, on a personal level, and I think it does say a lot about him in spite of all the other things, the other
Hmm.
antics that are going on. So you have two books now in this series with Dean Conan. Um, and then of course you have the books under Harold Pfeiffer. I'm curious. I haven't asked you this question, but who are we going to hear from next? Are we going to hear from another book from Dean, or is Harold have another book for us?
I think a Harold Pfeiffer book could be beat all of it out. I want to do another due to completion of the Fool's Gold Chronicle, which is Fool Me Thrice, Money Changed Everything, and A Fool Indeed. But right now, I have one that I'm working on, trying on the Harold Pfeiffer. I'm trying to get out, which is a lot about being a contractor in the zany world that they work in, and
Okay.
it's a lot of humor too. I like entertaining. I like uplifting people.
Mhm.
I like making people kind of scratch their head like, yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
sharing those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing we've gotten to know about you, Harold, is that you have. I mean, I haven't mentioned it in this interview, so for those who don't know, who may be just discovering us, that Harold and I have something in common, being both from Mississippi. But you've been
Mhm.
able to see the world. How is that? That worldview, having that different worldview, Harold. How has that impacted you as a storyteller to be able to have traveled the world and seeing things?
It makes you, I guess, add some things that you otherwise wouldn't have. Like even my first book, Surviving Chaos, it starts in Thailand, and I've been there, and um, and then even like I say, worked in Afghanistan. So it helps me add a different touch.
Mhm.
Uh, upcoming book, it hits a couple places: U.S., Afghanistan. I want to say Dubai.
Mhm.
So all that, like you said, that world view of that world travel comes into the next book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing Harold and I had talked about before when we planned these interviews was, of course, and we definitely want to invite you guys, especially those tuning in on the Amazon side. If you guys have read a book by Harold, make sure you guys do let people know what you think about it. The reviews always matter there. I'll be writing my reviews on Goodreads as of course, as an Amazon host. I'm not allowed to write reviews on Amazon right now. But I think that the great thing is you have been able to hear from readers, Harold. Does that kind of keep you encouraged as a storyteller to know that you're writing these books and that people are enjoying them?
Oh yeah, I mean, I, I get a lot of positive, but I look at the negative too and see, okay, maybe I could have said this better. Maybe I could have expanded better.
Mm.
I learned from it, so I like the uh, the reviews or the feedback. It helped
Yeah,
me become a better writer. It get me out in front of things and maybe pull some back, add a little more. I I appreciate it.
yeah. Well, I think that the great thing is here, Harold, is that you're able to give people, especially in the books about your own life, you're able to make a connection with readers, so that they can see, what, if he was able to go through those different situations, especially books like Surviving Chaos, that what, I can go through the situations that I've gone through in my life. I
Right.
want you to talk to other writers for a moment, or aspiring writers. Harold, what advice would you give them when it comes to just starting and writing that book that they've always said they wanted to write?
Yeah. Start by jotting things down. Keep notes. Um, uh, Miraculously, a lot of things come to you when you sleep. So as soon
Mm,
as you get up, just jot down as much as you can remember. You're not gonna remember it all, but it may come back.
yeah.
Believe in yourself. The critic's gonna be there. I mean, for good and bad. Like I said, don't blow them off. Because a lot of things they may be saying negative, maybe what you need to hear and make you better.
Mm,
Um, we want the positive. I mean, yeah, that's kind of why you do it, but it's not always going to be grand. There are a lot of scammers out there or people looking to take advantage. So talk to many people or person you know that you can trust
Mm-hmm.
that still you're clear of the bad people. Do
Yeah.
that and and keep writing. Don't give up. Keep writing. It may not hit you, or you may not finish in say 2 or 3 months. It may take you 3, 5, 7 years, but
Mm.
just keep at it.
Yeah. I think that's a great reminder. I think for all of us, I think regardless of of what it is that we're sharing, and I think a lot of times people do want they do get discouraged, Harold, as you mentioned. But I think the importance of keep going for sure. So that brings up another great question before we wrap up here, because I don't know the answer to this. How long did it take you to write the Dean Conan books?
God, I would say Fool Me Thrice probably took me about 5 months.
Okay.
Uh, a Fool Indeed probably less, maybe about 4.
Okay.
Um, you get better the more you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, my first one, Surviving Chaos, that took me probably about 12, 13 months.
Gotcha.
And then, like I say, my Bully My Aunt, um, probably more like about 6 months. Like I said, the more you do it, the better you get.
Right.
And you're gonna make some mistakes. It's gonna hurt, but learn from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great reminder for us all. Again, everyone, Harold Phifer has been our guest here on Amazon Live as we're wrapping up our Prime Day coverage here this week. He is the author of the books I have here with me here. I'm going to go back in the carousel and highlight them for you. Surviving Chaos. You'll be able to get it in print or the Kindle edition. Also, My Bully, My Aunt, Her Final Gift. You all can see it there in print, as well as the Kindle edition of that one is only 99 cents. And then look at Harold, he's helping me out there. And then and then the Dean Conan books, you all can be to get Fool Me Thrice. We're going to highlight it for you guys over there. There's Harold there. And then the newest one, A Fool Indeed. You all can get it as well there in print too. Harold, congratulations to you, and really glad we have you on as part of our Prime coverage. Let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you?
Right. Instagram and Facebook, you can hit me on Harold Pfeiffer 2024.
Hmm.
And or you can go over to my website, riseandread.com. Sign up or subscribe and be a part of my newsletter, or you can send me information, criticism, um, or positive, anything you like about it. I have no doubt you're going to like my books,
Hmm.
but I love to hear from you. Like I
Right.
said, riseandread.com and subscribe and become a member of my community of readers. And like I said, that way you get updates on where I'm going, what I'm doing, what books coming out, stuff like that. And like I
Yeah.
said, and interact with me, stuff you don't like. Because even Fool Indeed, a friend of mine encouraged me to change something, different, in the next book, which was A Fool Indeed. And I did. I took his advice.
Mm,
So you never know. You never know.
right.
But
Love that.
jump out there, grab one of the books or both, and no doubt you're gonna love it.
There you
I'm
go.
sure. I'll bet you're gonna love it.
Mm. Well, Harold, congratulations to you again. So glad to have you back on with us, man. Looking forward to our next chat together.
All right, I appreciate it. Same here.
All right. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.